Hey everybody, this is Eric Wore and welcome to our webinar, How to Answer Any Question, Overcome Every Objection in Network Marketing. And I'm glad you took the time to tune in. Let me give you a few things about this webinar. It's actually not live. I'm recording this on Saturday. What's the date today? I'll tell you what the date is. Saturday the 23rd. And we're putting it together so we'll be able to play it 4 times on Monday the 25th, 4 times on the 26th, and 4 times on the 27th. The reason we're doing this, a couple reasons. One is last month we had some pretty challenging issues. We overwhelmed the capacity of our webinar provider, and a lot of people scheduled the time and couldn't get on live, and a lot of people were disappointed with that. For those of you who are sorry, we were able to get replays up, but that didn't really solve the wasted time issue. Second, it's going to be kind of interactive anyway. It's going to be kind of like it's live because I have all of the feedback from the questions that I asked on Facebook to the people who had questions and objections. So I've got all of the different questions and issues so we can go over all those together. And third, I like the ability to look you in the eye, the ability to write some things down, the ability to kind of communicate visually instead of just PowerPoint and over the phone. So this is more fun for me. So I hope you'll enjoy it. And I will tell you also, I'm nursing a little bit of a cold. Coming up to GoPro Recruiting Mastery, that's a little scary. So my voice may deteriorate over the course of this webinar, may not. But we're going to have fun. Also, the other thing I will tell you, unless you're watching the very last webinar on Wednesday, the last one available, if you get value from this, you have the ability to send your group to go register for one of the replays, and they can get on a future broadcast. If you get value and you say, oh my gosh, my group really needs to hear this, fantastic, no problem. Just go ahead and have them go to networkmarketingpro.com/objection, networkmarketingpro.com/objection, have them pick their time that's still available and have them get registered, okay? So, all right, with that, let's get started. One of the things that I see inside of network marketing when it comes to questions and objections, nothing strikes more fear into the heart of a brand new person than people firing a bunch of questions they don't know how to answer. Nothing scares people that are dealing with objections like, feeling like they're backed into a corner, they don't know how to answer things. So people have developed a defense mechanism, which is next. They get a question, they go, oh, I guess you're not interested, you're not involved. You're one of those type of people, next. So they blow them off. And here's what I will tell you. They're a little too quick to do that. Now, I will say don't spend too much time on too few people that are going to be constantly negative. But don't walk away from them either. If they're ready to take off, if they're ready to do something, if they're ready to grow their business, well then help them. Our profession is filled with people who at some point had a question or had an objection, and then a skilled person inside of the network marketing business, a skilled person helped them answer that question. A skilled person helped them overcome that objection. You understand what I'm saying? So be that person too. Don't sit there for forever with somebody that is just not going to get involved with your business. Our business isn't for everybody. There's no question about that. But don't be too fast to walk away. Don't be too fast to say, oh, next. I guess you're just not ready for our business. Because you'll be walking away from great people. Myself, I was a person who said, hey, look, this isn't for me. This looks stupid. And my sponsor, my very first sponsor, helped me overcome that objection. I also had the objection if I didn't have the money. And my father helped me overcome that objection. So there's lots of different things. Don't move too quickly away from a prospect just because you get a question. Okay, and this webinar is going to give you some confidence to be able to feel a little bit more equipped. Okay, so first point is don't be too fast to walk away. All right, I'll make some notes. One, don't walk away right away. Okay, don't just say goodbye. Second, understand our job. Understand our job. Most people don't understand network marketing at all. They don't understand what we do. They have misconceptions about what we do. But so guess what we do inside of network marketing? Our job really is to help blind people see. Is to help educate people who are ignorant about our business. That's our job. A lot of times these quote-unquote blind people to network marketing don't even know that they're blind. So you're dealing with ignorance, and you're dealing with what I would call a learning disability. They have the disability to see what it is that we do. That's our job, is to help them see. Okay? So understand our job is to help them see, help blind people see, and to educate the ignorant. Okay? Third thing I would tell you, only learning experiences. What do I mean by that? Here's one thing that really helped me early on in my career. When I heard the phrase, there are no good and no bad experiences, only learning experiences. So if you go out there, so long as you learn from all your experiences, there's no such thing as good or bad. There's learning experiences. Now, that doesn't mean some of them can't hurt. Of course they're going to hurt. Doesn't mean they're bad. You're going to learn from them. Some of the most tragic things that can happen in a person's life, people learn from. They grow from. Okay? So when you approach a person, they have a question, they have an objection, just understand there are no good and no bad experiences in that process. Treat it like a game. Okay? You're going to learn. You're going to evolve. You're going to adapt. You're going to get better. You're going to work on your skills. Treat it like a game, not so much like it's life or death. Okay? You don't have to worry about this life and death stuff. Okay? No good, no bad experiences, only learning experiences. That liberated me to be able to go try something, see what happened. That's a lot of the concepts that I'm going to share with you on this webinar are things that I tried. Some of them didn't work, some that did. And over the course of 25 years, I finally came to a roadmap of here's what works all the time for everybody, and here's what doesn't work for everybody. So that's what I'm going to share with you, okay? No good, no bad, just learning experiences. So, what are questions and objections? What are they? So, see, a lot of people think when they get a question that means the person's negative. If they get an objection, that means a person is negative. It's not really true. A lot of times people are seeking, there's a couple things. Oops, sound. The prospect wants to sound smart. You know, if you're talking to somebody about some investment or some business or whatever, they want to throw something in there to sound smart. So a lot of times a question or objection is just somebody wanting to sound smart. Oh, what are the ingredients in such and such a product? They haven't looked at an ingredient in anything for their whole life. But they want to sound smart, so they'll start asking about things like that. You know, they'll ask, crazy questions they wouldn't ask about anything else because they want to sound intelligent, okay? So just understand that, have a little compassion on it, be patient with it. So understand, what are questions and objections? Sometimes they just want to sound smart. Sometimes they're seeking clarity or clarification. They need a little bit more information. Sometimes they're buying time to try to understand. They're just trying to understand. Okay? Sometimes they want to sound smart. Sometimes they have clarification. Sometimes they're trying to understand. Sometimes they have some limiting belief. You know, it might be, I don't have enough money. It's a limiting belief, or it's a reflex reaction. The other thing I will tell you too here is you're going to get a lot of reflex questions, reflex objections. This autopilot response, where a person says, they just, like when the doctor taps your knee and your leg flies out, that reflex. Sometimes when you present somebody with something, their question is a reflex, their objection is a reflex. It's not real. They know it's not real. When when you walk into a store and you ask the person, hey, are you, or the salesperson asks, hey, are you looking for something? And you say, no, I'm not. Well, that's not true. Of course you are. Your reflex is to say, no, I got it, leave me alone, right? It's a reflex reaction. It's not the truth. So anyway, this is the first part. Because we're filming this instead of recording it live, I've got to stop the camera and I'm going to start back in a second. So hold on just one moment. Alright, we're back. And now, what are the questions, objections? Just to kind of recap. At the beginning, I'll recap everything so far. Number one, don't walk away from people just because they ask a question or they raise an objection. Understand our job is to help blind people see, and help educate the ignorant. There are no good or bad experiences, only learning experiences. What are questions and objections? People want to sound smart, they're looking for clarification, they're trying to understand, they have some limiting belief, and many times it's just a reflex, an automatic response that's not really real. Now, here's the next thing I need you to understand, and I promise you, we're going to go through all of these, okay? But I need you to understand some concepts as we start, because the concepts are going to serve you. Let me tell you what this isn't going to be. Giving you 59 specific answers for each of the 59 objections. That's never going to work, and it's certainly never going to duplicate. What will work is giving you concepts that work with all 59 of these questions that you can use in all these different environments and learn how to do better and teach to others, okay? That's what works in network marketing. Having a specific answer to every single question and being the best debate person in the world is not going to win. So, you need to expect, based upon all the reasons that I gave you on that last page, you need to expect you're going to get questions, because people are going to be looking for clarity. They're going to be trying to understand. They're going to want to sound smart. They're going to have this reflex action. Same thing with objections. You need to expect it's going to happen, but you don't need to project it. Here's what I mean by don't project it. A lot of people are expecting negativity. They're expecting people are going to be too busy. They're projecting all this stuff. You got to expect that the questions are going to happen, but you don't need to project that the questions are going to happen. And here's what I mean by that. A lot of people create questions and objections by their conversation. They apologize during the invitation. They say things like, I understand that you're really busy, and I understand that you don't have a lot of money, and I understand that you already have a nice job, and I understand that this really isn't your thing. And unless you're doing that on purpose with an indirect or super indirect approach, you're projecting the objection to them, and you're telling that person to have the objection. You know what I'm saying? So expect that they're coming, but don't project it to them and give them that objection that you've already told them that you'll accept. See what I mean? It's all right also to act surprised. I can spell, I promise. Act surprised. When somebody says, I don't have the money, you're like, what, really? Or I don't have the time. Act like you've never heard that before, ever. When that happens, people go, oh, well, I guess maybe that was silly. Now, you're not belittling them, and you're not making fun of them, and you're not trying to argue with them. But if you act surprised when they bring maybe an argumentative question or a negative objection, then they'll automatically start backing off of it if you just act a little bit surprised, okay? So don't project, and understand this about objections. When a person brings you a question or let's just focus on objections for a moment. Is it real? Ask yourself the question. Is it real? Person says, I don't have the time. Is that real? Of course it's not real. People watch on average 6 hours of television a day. So is the time objection real? No. The busiest person you know finds time to be able to do things like this. Everybody else feels like they've lost control of time, but they have tons of time. Tons of it. Now, you don't need to win the argument with them when it comes to the time or whatever else. I just want you to internalize when they bring you the objection, is it real? Is it real? Or is it an illusion? Now, you might need to ask some questions to figure out if it's real. You might need to help them understand that it's an illusion by asking some questions and telling some stories, and we're going to talk about that. But when you understand, when a person says, I don't have the money, is that real? It doesn't really matter if a person has money. When it comes to network marketing, it's just a matter of creativity. I didn't have money when I first joined. I called my dad, and I asked my dad, Dad, will you help me? Sure. You could figure out a way to come up with money. I mean, if you could get a brand new Mercedes-Benz right now, this minute, if you could come up with $1,000 cash in the next 60 minutes and you couldn't tell anybody why you needed the cash, who in the world couldn't figure that out? Everybody could. So it's not about the money. It's about your creativity. It's about a person's willingness. And we're going to talk about what they're really saying when they're bringing you an objection. Is it real? What are they really saying? What are they really saying when they say they don't have the money? What they're really saying is, you haven't shown me enough to justify the money. What are they saying when they say, I just don't have the time? What they're really saying is, you haven't shown me enough to justify my time. When they say, I hate network marketing, what are they really saying? They're saying they have some negative experience, them or their family, from the past that they haven't been able to get over yet. That's what they're really saying. So most of the objections and questions you're going to get are not real. They're illusions. Think about what are they really saying in all of this, and we're going to talk about this as we go through the 59. We're going to be talking about what they're really saying. Okay? Now, you might be just like, come on, get to the questions. It's not like that. I'm telling you. If you understand this, don't walk away from good people with one objection. Understand our job is to help blind people see. There's no good or bad, just learning experiences. Get out there and have some experiences. Here's what they are. They're for people to sound smart, for clarification. They're trying to understand. They've got a limiting belief or a reflex reaction. And don't project the objection to the person. Don't give the objection to the person. Expect it's going to happen, but even though you're expecting it, act surprised. Like, really? Okay. Understand, when they're asking it, ask the question to yourself, is it real? And what are they really saying? Because our job as consultants, our job as business friends, is to help a person look at their situation and see if there's a solution with what we have to offer. If there's not a solution, then, hey, we did our job. If there is a solution, our job is just to help them understand it. And if they understand it, then they'll make a decision, yes or no, based upon what they want to do with their lives, okay? All right. So next thing that you need to understand are some concepts. Specific tactics are temporary. Concepts are permanent. These are the things that have worked for me with questions and objections for the last 25 years and work for everybody else. First one. Feel, felt, found, right? What I put under there is relate. Relate to the prospect. So a person says, you know, hey, I don't have the time. I just don't have the time. You can say, listen, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. When I first looked at this, I didn't think I had the time either. I mean, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. But let me tell you what I found. I found that I could do this working around my schedule. I could carve some things that weren't serving me in my future, and I was able to do something else. But I totally get you. I totally understand. I know where you're coming from. By relating to the person, you're building a bridge. Okay? I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Let me tell you what I found through this process. Okay? Then you can tell them a story. Next. Next concept is ask them for clarity. So ask questions to help you understand what it is that they're really dealing with. Okay? And we'll talk about this as we go through these. Ask for clarity. So let me understand what you're really saying. You're saying this, 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 this. Do I have that right? Or whatever list of questions. I'll talk about that in one moment. Here's the other thing. Don't try to win. A lot of people, they're so interested in winning the conversation that they lose the prospect. The person says, I don't have the time. Oh, you do too. You have plenty of time. You watch TV and you're doing, listening to nonsense on your radio in your car, and you're wasting time all over the place. So, well, yeah, they might be right, but they're certainly not going to win friends in that process. Don't try to win, okay? Don't try to win. Don't try to be witty. Don't try to, oh yeah, people try to be witty about the pyramids. Oh, is this one of those pyramids? No, the pyramids are just in Egypt. Oh, really? You're going to use that one in real life? Come on. Let's be real here, and don't try to win the argument. Try to build a bridge by relating to the person, asking questions, okay? All right, we're going to pause for a moment. We'll be right back. Okay, the next thing is questions. By asking for clarity, there's two main concepts. Well, I guess it's three. One, relate to the person. Two, ask questions. And stories. Three, tell stories. If you just mentally, we're looking to try and get clarity here. We're not trying to win. That's kind of an emotional state that you're going to have. But if you relate to the prospect, number one, don't belittle them. Don't try and win. You ask questions, number two. And number three, you tell stories. Now you're working as you should work, as a consultant, as a friend in business, as a friend in life, helping a person get to a place that they want to get to. We talk about in the book, Go Pro, all the time, all of these different concepts of working and kind of posturing yourself as a consultant. Look, if you have a need in your life, if there's an area that you're dissatisfied, maybe something that I have over here can fit. But before I can understand if this thing fits, let me ask you a few questions, right? Let me get some clarity of exactly where you're at. Let me tell you some stories. And through that, in the fact that we're relating to each other, maybe we can see if there's a fit. And if there's not a fit, fantastic. If there is a fit, wonderful. But these concepts are timeless. If you just get solid on relate to the prospect, ask questions, and tell stories, I'm going to give you lots of examples of all three of those things over the course of the rest of this webinar. All right, next thing I want to tell you is this. This is going to surprise you. I have 59 different questions and objections when I ask people on the Facebook fan page to send them to me. 59. But would it surprise you to realize that there's only 2? All of these 59 can be put into 2. 1, they have a limiting belief about themselves, or 2, they have a limiting belief about network marketing. That's it. Limiting belief about themselves or limiting belief about network marketing. When they say, I don't have time, what are they saying? That's a limiting belief about themselves. When they say, oh, I don't know if this thing works, it's a limiting belief about network marketing. If they say, well, I'm just not a salesperson, it's a limiting belief about themselves. Right? If they say, only people at the top make money, well, that's a limiting belief about network marketing that's not true. If they say, no one I've ever talked to is interested in the product or the opportunity, it's a limiting belief about network marketing. If they say, the timing is wrong, or I don't know anybody, it's a limiting belief about themselves. So there's really only 2. Just 2. Out of all the questions and objections in the world, and actually while I was writing the book, I realized, the GoPro book, I realized that there was only 2. I was like, wow, that's kind of amazing to realize there's only 2. And if you understand that, now you don't need to stress out about 59 of these things. If a person says, look, I have a limiting belief about my own situation, my own abilities. Okay, then you can use the three main concepts. I understand, I get it. I had limiting beliefs about myself too, right? I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Here's what I found. I found that this limiting belief about myself wasn't really true. You know, let me ask you a few questions about your limiting belief. Question. Let me tell you a few stories, my story and others. Story. To help you maybe see that that limiting belief might not be serving you. Or the person says, well, I have this limiting belief about network marketing. See, I get it. 1, relate. 2, tell stories. 3, ask questions. Or ask questions, tell stories. Right? Those 3 things are going to help you in all of these objections. Okay? Are you getting this? Now, I will tell you one thing, and it's funny. The GoPro book has all of these approaches, all of these invitations, all of the invitation to get somebody to take a look. We talk about these questions and objections. All of this stuff is in there with a lot of different scripts. And we just created a new page for the book where you can get the book, the audio book, all that stuff. If you go to network marketing pro.com/GoPro. networkmarketingpro.com/GoPro. You can go to that page, share it with your friends, and that's something you can listen to and study. I'd really recommend the audiobook. Get that CD, put it in your car, whatever, listen to it a couple hundred times till it burns a groove in your brain. Okay, that's going to help. But we just finished this new page that has everything finally in one place, but so I thought I'd share it with you. All right. Now, are you ready to go through these questions? We're going to go through these questions and we're going to talk about the concepts and we're going to give you some basic language, okay? So, I'm not that type of person. I'm not that type of person. You're going to get that, you know, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not that type of person. I don't like to bother people. There's a whole bunch that fit into this category. You know, actually 12 of these objections in limiting beliefs in their own abilities, 12 of these are very similar. So I'll give you all 12. I'm not that type. I'm not that personality type. I could never do what you do. I don't want to annoy all of my friends. I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to sell anything. I can't see myself doing it. I can't see myself doing it, right? You're blind to it. I don't do door-to-door selling, which of course we don't do. I make a lot of money. I don't need to do this. I don't like to talk to people, right? So if we go back to our concepts here, with I'm not that type, number one, you can act surprised, like, really? You're not that type? Understand, is it real that they're not the type of person that can succeed in network marketing? It's not real. They might think it's real. They might think network marketing are people because people have been lazy and just attacking everybody in the world. What are they really saying? What they're really saying is, I think I would feel uncomfortable in network marketing. If you can help me see how I could do this with my personality and not feeling uncomfortable, then you'd have my attention. That's what they're really saying. Show me how I can do this without having to become a different type of a person, right? So, we go to our concepts. With this objection, I'm not that type of person. First of all, relate to them. Listen, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Or if you're a completely different personality type, you can tell somebody else's story. I know how you feel. A lot of people in my business felt the same way originally. But let me tell you what they found, right? Pardon me. Then you can tell a story. If it's your story, you can say, when I first got involved, I thought that I had to bother everybody. I thought I had to do all this stuff, but I found out that that wasn't the case at all. All I had to do was share this product and service in a way that the company made it easy for me to do. People loved it. They loved using the product. Some of them became distributors in the business, and some of them started growing their own network marketing business, and it surprised me that I could be myself and still find a way to create extra cash flow for my family. Or tell a story about somebody else. So, and then you could ask a question. So, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Relate. Tell stories, yours or others, and then ask questions. So let me ask you this. If I could show you how you can do this with your personality, and how lots of other people are doing this with their personality in a way that did not make them feel uncomfortable. They did not feel like they had to be a super salesperson. They did not feel like they had to know all the answers to every question. If I could show you how that worked for all of these people, they're able to create extra cash flow in their lives. If I could show you that, would you be willing to take the next step and learn a little bit more? You know, if I could show you this, would you listen? Right? So, our big three here, I'm not that type. You're going to relate to them, you're going to tell stories, you're going to ask questions. You can end that question, the last question, with if I, would you? If I could show you how to do this, would you be willing to do that? Or you can ask a question to clarify. When they say, you know, I'm not a salesperson, you can ask a question, do you think you have to be a super salesperson in order to be able to succeed in this type of business? And well, they say, well, yeah, that's what I think. Well, would it surprise you to know that you don't have to be a super salesperson and most of the top successful people aren't super salespeople? Would that surprise you? Well, yeah, I guess it would. Well, let me tell you a couple stories, because guess what? I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way. Here's what happened with me. See what I mean? Back to the three. All right, we're going to take a break, come right back. All right, so you're starting to get the theme here. The theme being relate to people, tell stories, ask questions, or ask questions, tell stories, relate to people, or tell stories, relate to people, ask questions. You pick the order, it doesn't matter. But can you see how those three concepts can work in every single environment? So they say they're not that type of person. Let's go back to the next question. Don't have the time. I'm really busy. So, is that real? Is it real? Question number one. Not really. It's not. What are they really saying? They're saying you haven't shown me enough to justify my time. Right? So, you might want to ask them, you can go back to these three things and say, you know, well, let me ask you a question about I don't have time. Are you just not interested, or do you really not have time? You know, explain to me what no time looks like. You know, share that with me. When you say no time, are you saying you don't have time for 20, 30, 40 hours, or are you saying you don't have time for 5 or 10 hours? Get some clarity on exactly what they're saying when they say they don't have time. Okay, so you can ask for clarity, or you can relate to them first. I like relating. So listen, I get it. Who isn't busy? Everybody's busy right now. In life, I'm busy, you're busy, everybody's running around trying to take care of everybody, dealing with all the different issues of our life. Who has lots of extra time? I get it. I totally understand. I know how you feel. But you know, I felt the same way. When I first looked at this, I didn't think I had the time either. But let me tell you what I found. I realized that I was just going through the motions. That I was filling my time with stuff that wasn't bringing me in the direction of my dreams, of my future. I had to create a way to create additional cash flow for my life or for my family, or I was always going to deal with this credit card debt. I was never going to be able to take care of the kids' education when they went on to college. I was never going to be able to go on the vacations that I wanted to go on. So you know what I did? I took a hard look at my life, and I realized, you know what, I could watch a little less TV. You know what, I could be a little bit more efficient with my time. And I carved out 10 hours a week. And I used that 10 hours to invest in my future for my family. It was one of the best decisions I ever made. So let me ask you a question. If you really believed that you could create some additional cash flow for your family and have some additional choices for your life by carving out 10 hours a week, and that was real, do you think you could find those 10 hours? And they say, well, yeah, and you know, I probably could. Because how are you going to say no to that? You can say, well, listen, you know, if I could show you how to start building a business working just 10 hours a week of your choosing, flexible hours, would you be ready to go to the next step? Well, sure, yeah, I'm ready to go to the next step. All right, fantastic. And you can move forward. Okay? So time comes back to these three things. Relate to them, I know how you feel, tell your story, personal story, tell other people's stories, and then ask them some questions. If they say, I don't have the money, some people try to win that argument. Well, how long do you want to have that be the case in your life? How long do you want to be embarrassed and have to say that? Really? You want to say that? Man, you better have a good relationship with them, and they better respect you like crazy. You know, if you're a millionaire mentor, you can say that. You can say that to them. But if somebody told me, how long you want to be embarrassed and not be able to say that you have the money to be able to join a business like this, I'd say the heck with you and walk away. Now, it would bother me and make me think about it, but I wouldn't be happy. I might join the business, but I wouldn't join you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you don't want to embarrass somebody. So, how do you build a bridge with a person, relate to them? The best way to do it is say, listen, you know what I realized? No matter where you are in this world, everybody has just about the same amount at the end of the month. You know what I mean? The person making 6 figures a year, they have more stuff, but they don't have any extra money. The person makes $50,000 a year, they don't have a lot of extra money. People making $20,000 a year, they don't have a lot of extra money. People making $250,000 a year, they don't have a lot of extra money. They find a way for it to go someplace. But when I first looked at this, I didn't think I had the money either. But I realized that if I didn't change something, then my life wasn't going to change. And this wasn't like some huge, massive investment. This is, $500, $1,000 that I could figure out. And then I could go to work to be able to get that money back as quickly as possible and then start making a profit. And if I didn't do something like this, then I was going to be kicking myself for the rest of my life because, you know what? I deserve more than I have right now. But I can't expect things to get better unless I'm willing to take a little bit of risk and bet on me. So that's what I decided to do. I decided to bet on me. So let me ask you a question. If I could show you how to quickly get a return of your investment in starting your own business, and then fairly quickly get a return on your investment, move into cash flow, move into profitability, and I can show you how to do that with the time that you have available, you think you could find the money? What are they going to say? They're going to say, well, yeah, I probably could find the money. If you could show me that, I could probably find the money. All right, fantastic. Well, let's move on to the next step. So you understand that, is it real on the money? No, it's not real. Is it real on the time? No, it's not real. I'm not the type? Is that real? No, it's not real. Network marketing is filled with people that were not the type. Filled with people that didn't have the time. Filled with people who didn't have the money. And then they went from being blind to being able to see because someone had these concepts of relating to the prospect, telling stories, asking questions, and guiding a person professionally to a result that they want. See what I'm saying? Okay. So I'm going to go through all 59 and see where they stand, okay? I'm not that personality type. I can never do what you do. We got that one. I don't want to annoy all of my friends. That's a limiting belief in what? Network marketing. They believe that you have to bother the world. Well, is that true? Do you have to bother the world? Those of us in network marketing know that of course that's not true. We're going to share a product or a service that we believe in. People will either say yes to that product or service or they'll say no to that product or service. Here in Network Marketing Pro, we're trying to do everything we can so people do it right and they don't annoy their friends and family. So do you have to bother everyone? No. So when they say, I don't want to annoy my friends, what are you going to do? I get it. I understand. I thought that's what you had to do too inside of network marketing. But here's what I found out. It's not that at all. It's evolved completely. We have tools to share our products and services. We let people sample. We let people try. We tell people stories. And people say yes or they say no, but we're not there to bother them all the time. So let me ask you a question. If I could show you that it wasn't about annoying and bothering your friends, and there was a system that you could use to create extra cash flow without jeopardizing your relationships with your friends and with your family, would you be ready to go to the next step? Would you? Okay, fantastic. Let's go to the next step. Then you could show them, here's our system. Here's how we share it with people. Here's how people try the products. Here's how people take a look at the opportunity. It's not about bothering people at all. We're going to teach you how to do that. Here's this book, Go Pro, that'll teach you how to do that without bothering people, right? All right. So that's number 2. I'm not a salesperson, or I don't want to sell anything. I'm not that type. We already talked about that. I can't see myself doing it. So here's the question. I'd be looking for clarity if somebody says, I can't see myself doing it. What can't you see yourself doing? What's this picture you're seeing in your head that's so scary? Well, I can't see myself knocking on door to door. Well, we don't do that. I'm sorry that I led you to that belief that you had to go knocking on doors to sell our products, but that's not what we do. If I could show you how we do that and it was in a way that was comfortable for you, we ready to move forward? Sure, fantastic. You want me to ask my friends and family again? That's going to go into, I'm not that type, or a limiting belief about network marketing. I make a lot of money. I don't need to do this. Okay? So this is a money objection in the other way. Hey, I'm already successful. Back off. You know, I'm already doing well. So here's what I would do with a person like that. They're obviously ego-driven. I would say, of course, you're very successful. That's why I'm talking to you. I wouldn't talk to you, I wouldn't have made it this important to talk to you if you weren't already doing so well. Because here's the thing that I know about successful people. Every successful person I know is looking for ways to increase their cash flow. And you're a person of influence, you're a person of power. You can certainly leverage your influence to be able to create additional cash flow. So if I could show you how to do something like that in the time that you have available, in a system that would make you feel comfortable, would you be ready to take a look a little deeper on how this cash flow can improve your life? If you're ready to do that, then fantastic. Then let's check it out. All right, see what I'm saying? All right, let's pause and we'll come right back. Okay, so you're starting to see the theme. Here's what I want you to be excited about. No matter what you get, you go here. Relate, ask questions, tell stories. Tell stories, ask questions, relate. That's what you're going to do over and over and over and over and over for the rest of your career. Those three things. No matter what is on this objection list in somebody's mind. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, I don't like, you know, your company's corporate colors are purple, and I promised myself I was never going to get involved with a purple company. Okay. What bothers you so much about purple? Right? You tell some stories, you know, listen, when I took a look at this, color was the last thing on my list. Cash flow was on the first thing on my list. I was looking for freedom, right? But I can relate. Some things bother me too. I get it. But if I can show you how to make money with a company like this, even though you don't like purple, would you be ready to take the next step? You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It can be as ridiculous as that. It doesn't even matter what it is. It's the same thing. For every single objection, you're going to go, your reflex, like their reflex is, oh, I have a question. Oh, I have an objection. Your reflex is to go right here, bam. I get it. I totally understand where you're coming from. Let me ask you some questions. Let me tell you some stories. If I would you, let's go to the next step. See what I mean? All right, next. My spouse is completely opposed to something like this, and she'll leave me if I get involved. Now, my first question is, wow, you've got a story. What happened? What have you done? How many things have you done? You must have tried something like this before. I get it. I understand. You know what your spouse is really telling you? She doesn't want to see you not succeed. She doesn't want to see you waste money. Or maybe she had a bad experience in the past. But let me ask you a question. If there was a way to show your spouse that this is something that she would be comfortable with, or he would be comfortable with, and a methodology and a product or service that was meaningful to people, and we can understand why there's so much emotion involved, if we could show you how to get what you want without feeling the bad feelings that you feel at the current moment, would you be ready to at least explore that? See what I mean? So, whether it's this or, you know, a lot of people, you know what really freaks people out? Is when people are super negative about network marketing. This is kind of a super negative response, right? So sometimes you'll literally get the stiff arm. You'll get, you know, hey, is this MLM? Don't talk to me if it's network marketing. I don't want to hear it. That used to freak me out. The first 5 years, I was like, oh, yes, it's network marketing, fine, go away. But let me tell you where I ended up. Now I love it. When somebody does, hey, is this network marketing? Oh, pss, pss, pss. That stuff doesn't work. I say, hold it, stop. You got a story. Tell me your story. What happened? Do you still have some stuff in your garage? Was it you that joined a company, or was it somebody in your family? You know, what was the name of the company? What happened? Why the bad feelings? You know, tell me your story. Tell me your story. They'll say, well, this company, I got involved with this company, I thought it was going to be great, and they went out of business. Oh, man. So I understand. I get it. You know, so the company you joined went out of business, and that was embarrassing, and maybe that even damaged some relationships, and you just decided that you weren't going to get involved again because you didn't want to risk that type of bad emotion again. I get that. But let me ask you a question. Do you think it was network marketing that let you down? Or do you think it was just that company? Do you think it was the company? Yeah, I think it's probably the company too. And I'm sorry that that happened to you, man. That's really disappointing. I get it. But if it wasn't the company, or if it was the company, and it wasn't network marketing, if you could look at something and you became convinced, because you've been through this now, you can see if there's these red flags and there's these warning signs of a company that's not going to do well, you could look at it and decide you weren't going to repeat the same mistake of choosing a bad company. If you chose a good company you thought was going to be around for a long time, do you think network marketing by itself would serve you at some point in your life? If you found the right company? See what I mean? So a person says, oh, you know, my wife got involved in one of those things and we still have a bunch of stuff in the garage. And I'm sorry, I understand. You know, what happened, do you think? Well, you know, or they say, you know, well, I got involved and it just didn't work out. What happened? Do you think it was the company? Is the company still around? Yeah, they're still around. Are there other people doing well with the company? Yeah, they're doing well. Do you think it was the company? Do you think maybe, you know, how hard did you work it? I didn't really work it that hard. You know, I talked to some people. So it must have been a timing situation or whatever. You know, you just didn't have the time, or maybe you didn't have the upline or the support system to teach you how to do what you needed to do to build a business. Yeah, that was a lot of that. You know, I really didn't get the training, didn't get the support. Well, let me ask you this. If there was a way to get the things that you didn't get the last time, you joined network marketing because for a reason at some point. You saw the potential at some point. So I wouldn't let the dream die just because a company let you down, or an upline let you down, or a situation let you down. I'd still go get the freedom. If I could show you how to get that and not have the bad feelings of the bad experiences you had before, or show your spouse the same thing, would you be ready to at least, you know, take the next step? Wouldn't it make sense to at least do that? I think you owe it to yourself. You know, one thing I found about network marketing people, if they've been involved at some point, if they haven't had the success they were looking for, a lot of them feel like they have unfinished business. They have something that they still need to prove inside of this profession. And if you've got unfinished business inside of network marketing, maybe I can help. Maybe I can help you be part of that story, that comeback story, that go to the top of the mountain story. That would be fun. We could do it together. See what I mean? Relating, telling stories, asking questions. So, I'm too young or I'm too old. Limiting belief about themselves. I get it. You can just relate to them, tell some stories. If you have some, you know, let's say a person says, well, I'm 80 years old, I'm too old. Tell some stories about some senior citizens involved in your company that are doing well. I get it, I understand, but let me tell you this, let me tell you this, let me tell you this. If I could show you how to do it at your age, with your wisdom and your skill set, if I could show you how to do that, would you be prepared to at least go to the next step? All right, fantastic. I'm too young. Tell some stories about some young people. We're going to have a whole panel discussion at GoPro Recruiting Mastery of under 30. A bunch of under 30 phenomenal entrepreneurs are going to be sharing some wisdom. You can't believe how much success is happening inside of network marketing under 30. It's unbelievable, the companies that are embracing that and really promoting that. It's a lot of fun. So, all right, we'll keep going through the list. I don't like to talk to people. Relate to them, tell stories, ask questions. Move forward. I can't take rejection, so I wouldn't be able to do something like this. Okay? So, relate to them, tell stories, ask questions. I don't have a credit card or a checkbook. I only pay cash. Okay, I get it. I understand. I've been in situations like that before where I've had to go all cash. But here's what I know. You can find a way to solve that problem if you see an opportunity to change your life. I know that because I did. You know, if you believe that this opportunity really could change your life, would you be willing to solve that problem? Yeah. All right. Fantastic. All the network marketing questions, if they're negative in nature, I automatically immediately go to tell me your story. You have a story. Tell me it. Tell me what happened. And then I ask them some questions about their story that lets them realize that it wasn't network marketing that let them down. It was the situation or themselves that let them down. And then I tell them my story or other people's stories, and then I move them forward with all of those. And I mean, of these 31 questions, most of them are super negative when it comes to network marketing. You know what you're going to get when it comes to network marketing a lot? When people ask you, so what do you do? And I say, well, I'm a network marketing professional. Oh, so you work with computers. A lot of people think that you work with computers. A lot of people think that you're involved in some technology type stuff because they hear network. So you have to get into this conversation to be able to help them get to the other side. And they're either going to be looking for clarity when they ask questions, or they're going to be negative based upon somebody themselves or somebody in their family having some bad experience buying a network marketing lottery ticket. And you've heard me talk about that for an awful long time. So I need to sleep on it, right? That little objection, I need to sleep on it. I need to pray about it. I need to talk to my spouse. So let me ask you specifically. First of all, I understand where you're coming from. Maybe you just need some space to just kind of absorb this. Maybe you just, you're not interested in this conversation. But here's what I will tell you. I'm not here to convince you to do anything. I'm here to help ask some questions to be able to help you get to an answer that will serve you. That's all. So if you need to think about it, tell me specifically what you're wanting to think about. Whether or not you could do the business, whether or not you have the time, the money, whatever. Let me help you with that. To be able to, and I can give you some tools to be able to take a look at, some websites to be able to take a look at, some materials to take a look at that will help you make a more positive decision when you think about it. And then we can get back together for coffee or breakfast or lunch or something, and we can take it to the next step. Thinking about it's fine, but I just want to try and understand what you're thinking about. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come right back. Okay. So I want to, I'm giving you these concepts over and over. I'm telling you stories over and over, give you different examples, because the words exactly, there's a few situations where words will help you, but mostly it's concepts. Relate, tell stories, ask questions. That's most of the situation, okay? When they say network marketing negative, well, ask the question, what happened? Tell me your story. Then you can tell them, have them tell you their story, then you can tell them your story, you can relate to them, you can have a conversation, you can talk about that, you can see if you can get to the next step, okay? Now, if a person says, how much are you making, right? They say, wow, this is so great, how much are you making? One of the best answers, you can go a couple different ways on this. One way is to say, look, I understand you're wanting to try and judge all of network marketing based upon how I've done, okay? So I get it. I understand what's going on. Let me tell you my story. Let me tell you where I'm at. And you might be able to do better than me. You might be able to feel like you're not going to be able to do as much as me. That doesn't even really matter because I'm not really the issue. But let me give you the best answer that I have. Best answer that I have to that is I don't really know yet because I'm still getting paid. I've been involved for 3 months, and I expect from all of the efforts that I've done for the last 3 months to continue to get paid for several years. So yes, I've earned some commissions, I have some checks coming in, but I'm still getting paid on the efforts that I've already done. So there's really no way for me to answer your question other than to say it's more than what I have now, and it's a better cash flow situation right now. It's a better future that I have to look forward to. That's what I really know. And I will tell you, the stories, it's really not about me. It's about you. It's about what you're wanting to figure out. And let me tell you some stories of some other people that are still getting paid from the efforts that they did prior to today. Right? They're getting paid, here's a person that's earning this, and here's a person that's earning that, here's a person that's earning this. So I'm still getting paid on the efforts that I've already done. But let me ask you a question. If I can show you the most successful people inside of our company and tell you exactly how they did it, would that be enough for you to be able to really evaluate? If I could show you their game plan of how they did it, and you can see if that's something that you want to do, would that be enough to help you take it to the next step? See what I mean? So yeah, tell your story. I don't know. I don't know how much I've earned so far because I'm still earning based upon the efforts that I've already done, and I'll continue to earn based upon the efforts that I've already done. Okay? So that one was very, very helpful to kind of say I'm still earning, so it's difficult for me to know. Learned that one from Big Al, by the way, Tom Schreider. He's one of the great trainers in network marketing. All right, I want to make sure I go through every single objection, okay? So bear with me as I go through this. Nobody ever really makes it in network marketing. Just nobody ever really makes it. So first question in your mind, is it true? Is that true? Of course we know that's not true. What are they really saying? What they're really saying is they have a perception in their mind that people join and it's an illusion that people can actually have a life here. And that's their limiting belief. But they're also saying if you could show them that that's not true, then of course they're going to take a look. That's what they're saying to you. So a person says nobody ever really makes it, really, in network marketing. It's like, you could act surprised, like, wow, really? Well, listen, I know how you feel. When I looked at this too, I didn't really understand it. I didn't know if it's just a whole bunch of people, is it your Tupperware lady, is it your Avon lady calling, that type of thing? Or is it real business? And let me tell you what I found. The profession does over $150 billion a year around the world. Companies are doing extremely well. They're paying their people incredibly well. Professionals are coming in all over the place because the economy's changing. I get it. I understand. When I took a look at that and I figured that out, I said, okay, I understand that, but let me take a look at some of the other stories of people that I know are making it inside of network marketing. So, question, if I could show you tons of people that are making it, you ready to move to the next step? If I could introduce you to a few people that are making it, would you be ready to move forward to the next step? They say, no, network marketing sucks. Then I go, hold. You have a story. Tell me your story. And you can go right into that. Okay? So that's number one on this list. Number two, how much money are you making? We talked about that. I'm still earning it. Let me introduce you. It's really not about me. It's about what you can do. Let me introduce you to some people who are doing really, really well. It can't be that good or everybody be doing it. Well, listen, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I felt the same way. It's too good to be true. Here's what I found. It's hard work just like anything else. You get paid based upon your effort just like anything else. There are winners and there are losers based upon effort and based upon commitment and based upon ambition, just like everything else. And here's the story that I saw and here's what happened to me, and let me ask you a question. And we move forward. So why do you still have a day job? Let's see. Well, first I understand what you're saying. If it's so great, why do you still have a day job? Well, here's why I still have a day job. The reason why is I'm working full-time right now on paying my bills, and I'm working part-time on creating my future. I just decided that I needed to spend some time, in addition to just taking care of the mortgage and the bills and paying for the car and everything else, I needed to take some time to be able to create a future. I was never going to really have a life. So let me ask you some questions, and then you move forward. Only people at the top make money. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. I thought that too. But I realized that wasn't true at all. The very first person that joined our company isn't the highest earner. The people are earning more than them down inside the structure, so that doesn't even really work. Let me tell you, somebody who just got started this year, here's what they're making. It's based upon personal efforts. Everybody starts at the top. Everybody, including you, starts at the top and starts to build a network. Everybody. If I can show you how all that works, and it's not true that just the people that get involved early or get involved at the top make the money, would you be ready to move to the next step? Because I can show you that. Only people who get in early make money. Same thing. Poor people won't have the money to buy the starter package, and the rich won't be interested in the business opportunity. I understand how you feel. I looked at the economics of this too, but let me tell you what I found. Poor people are looking for opportunity all over the place, and this is the best situation for the average person to be able to put for a few $100s to be able to start a business, be able to create a future. So what poor people do, let me tell you some stories of this person that did, and this person that did, and this person that did. And as far as rich people, here's what I know about rich people. They love cash flow, and they're always looking for ways to increase their cash flow. So show me the busiest person, the most successful person. I'll show you a person that's interested in looking at network marketing. And let me tell you about this person, and this person, and this person, and this person. So let me ask you some questions. If I could show you all that stuff, you're ready to move forward to the next step. Because this works for lower class, quote unquote, middle class, and upper class. All the classes succeed in network marketing if they want to, if they're ambitious. I've tried network marketing before, it wasn't successful. It doesn't work. That's the same thing. Tell me your story. No one I've talked to is interested in the product or opportunity. I don't understand how that's really an objection when you're talking to a prospect. Maybe an objection from somebody who's already in the business, but you're going to use the same thing. Yeah, and listen, I relate. Let me tell you some stories. Let me ask you some questions. Let me move you forward. I've never met anyone that makes money in those things. Would you like to? I can introduce you to some people that make money in these things. You know, it's no problem. I understand how you feel. I mean, if you haven't met anybody, I get it. But let me tell you some stories of this person, this person, this person, this friend, and that friend, and this friend. And let's move it forward. What makes your company different from all the others out there? Oh, that's a great question. I totally get it. Let's sit down and explore it. Let me show you. Let me tell you this story about the company, and that story about the company, and this story about the company. What makes it different? It's a great question. Let me show you what makes it different. What if the network marketing industry becomes saturated? Look, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. You know, if everybody's talking about this, it's going to go. But here's what I found. Just like any other profession, it's very, very difficult, even professions that have been around for hundreds of years, to saturate anything. You know, there's going to be some people that really go out and go after it, and there's other people who don't. There's going to be some people that come in and just use the product, and that's all they ever do. Some people get one customer, two customers. Some people go out and build a big network. Those that build a big network make a lot of money. But there's been companies involved in network marketing for forever. They're certainly not saturated. They're enjoying record growth, billion-dollar companies. I looked you up on the internet, and it wasn't all nice. Okay, fantastic. If it's on the internet, it has to be true, right? You know, listen, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. When you look at this stuff, you go, oh my gosh. But here's what's true. If you Google Apple and you click in and try to look for Apple unsatisfied, Google that one time and see how many lawsuits there are with Apple, and see how many people don't like Apple, even though they're the biggest company in the world. People who say Apple's going to be over with, and Apple's going to be crushed, and Apple's this, and Apple's that. Well, that doesn't mean it's true. Just because it's on the internet doesn't mean it's true. Number one. And number two, dogs don't bark at parked cars. I mean, if you're doing something, people are going to be, there's going to be haters, there's going to be winners, there's going to be losers, and that's okay. That's fine. What you have to do is just look through and just say, look, let's see what's real, what isn't real. Let's talk about what you've seen. Let's talk about what's the truth. Let me tell you some stories. Let me ask you some questions, and we'll move forward. See what I mean? So again, I'm here to consult. I'm not here to win. I'm here to see if there's a fit. Okay? See if there's a fit and see what we can do with it. All right, let's take 1 second. Be right back. Okay, next one is it a scheme? I don't want to be involved in a pyramid scheme. So, listen, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. Let me tell you, when I looked at this, I wouldn't be involved in anything that's illegal. they've been around for X, they've been doing this, they're connected with all these different things. You can tell all the credibility stories about your company and say, listen, it's really kind of a misconception that people think that anything involved in this is a scheme. Now, sometimes with this, I personally get on a soapbox and win the argument. Just because I'm like, look, let me tell you what's a scheme. The educational system charging people enormous amounts of money and putting people in massive student loan debt in this country is a scheme. Let me tell you what's a scheme. All the big corporations that are trying to keep people down and not giving people opportunity, that's a scheme. Let me tell you what's a scheme. Wall Street and what they're doing to the economy, let me tell you it's a scheme. What they do in the government to be able to take people's money and punish the producers and give it to the people who don't produce, that's a scheme. You know what I mean? So this is what goes on in my head, because I can go on this topic. But really, when somebody says, well, is it one of those things is a scheme, I'm either going to ask them a question, have them tell me their story of what happened, or I'm just going to go in my head. Is this real, what they're saying? No. What are they really saying? Is it credible? Is it reputable? Is it legal? And I just need to answer that and figure out ways to do it by relating to them, by telling stories and asking questions, not winning. Because, man, I can bring me a soapbox and I'll climb on it. And I will tell you we have a better way. We have a better way than anything else out there. Most of the rest of the stuff out there is a scheme. Flat out. Okay? So anyway, that's what goes on in here. What comes out here is, well, I understand what you're saying. Let's see what we can do down this road to be able to help you understand. I get it. But I really want to just absolutely hammer it. Anyway, that's my little confession. Sorry. All right. I know all about your sort of company. It's illegal. Okay. I can understand how you might feel that way if you don't really understand what it is that we do, but let me tell you some stories and let me ask you some questions. Why do you think it's illegal? What do you think makes it illegal? Tell me. Tell me, you know all about it. Well, tell me quickly, because I need to know, right? And then you can tell some stories that would help them without embarrassing them, help them understand what they're saying is ignorant. How do you know you'll get paid? I understand your concern. You're wanting to work with a company. If they don't pay, they're out of business. And I've talked with all the people that have been involved with the company for X period of time, and here's what happens with them over and over and over, every single month, every single week. Whenever they're supposed to get paid, they get paid. Let me tell you some stories. Let me ask you some questions. If I could show you that you're going to get paid, are you ready to move forward? All right, got it. How do you know the company's going to last? You don't. You don't. I understand the question. All of us are going to do our best to be able to take a look at the company and say, what is the long-term future of the company? Most of the companies that were around 30 years ago aren't here anymore. In every profession. There's only a few that are still around, even on the Fortune 500 companies. Most of those are gone. So yeah, there may be something that happens, just like every profession, but we're going to do our best to pick a good company that we think is going to last a long time. We can build some equity in, build some skills in, and get good at what it is that we do inside of network marketing. And heaven forbid something happens with the company, we'll still have our skills, and those skills are very, very valuable in network marketing, and we can find another home. If that were to happen, and God forbid, it's certainly not what we're expecting, but we're really the only security that we're ever going to need. We're not beholding to any corporation to be able to take care of us for the rest of our lives. Okay. I don't want to look stupid in my family. I tried this once and got laughed at. Tell me your story. I would like to try the products out first to see if they really work. I get it, totally understand. And I'd suggest that you do that. I don't want you to be involved in something that isn't really real. Let me tell you my story, what happened with the products. Let me tell you other people's stories. I want you to try the products. I want you to feel comfortable. And when you do and you have that belief, you're going to be able to go build a big business. I need to sleep on it. I need to go home and talk it over with my spouse. We talked about that. I don't know anybody. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. I didn't know if I knew enough people that might want to do this, but let me tell you what happened with me. I decided to learn the skill of finding people to talk to, and I found that. I read this book, GoPro, and GoPro taught me how to do it. Tell some stories of what happened with me and other people. Ask some questions. If I could show you how to never run out of people to talk to, would you be ready to get going? All my friends are poor. Then all your friends, I'm sure, don't want to be poor anymore, right? Who wants to stay poor? If your friends don't have money, then what are they probably looking for? They're looking for opportunities so they can get out of that situation. If they're hungry, that's enough, right? Let me tell you a story of this poor person that changed their life, and this poor person that changed their life, and this poor person that changed their life. So if we can together, let's go talk to your friends. Let's ask them some questions and see if they're ready to do something. If they are, then we can help them. Would it be fun to help your friends? Take those people that are poor and show them how to get out of that situation? That'd be a lot of fun. I don't know anybody. All my friends are poor. I have no credibility with my friends and family. I know how you feel. Felt the same way. Let me ask you some questions. If there was a product or a company that was so credible that it helped you actually with the credibility, and I showed you an approach that would work with talking with those people without feeling uncomfortable, would you be ready to move forward? I don't know anything about this type of business. I know how you feel. Let me tell you some stories. Let me ask you some questions. When I join, will you help me? Sure. I'll help you. I won't do it for you. I'll do it with you. I don't have a car. I don't have a computer. Listen, a car and a computer isn't really the issue here, right? I get what you're saying is you have some limiting situation. But if you have enough ambition, if you have enough dissatisfaction, if you have enough desire, you're coachable enough, you're willing to work enough, you can overcome anything. The world is filled, and network marketing is filled with people who had limiting situations just like you and were able to turn it around. And let me show you how you can do that. All right, so I have some additional questions here. This person says, also wondering if you think there's a different response technique for different personalities or ego status differences. Your more empathetic, feel, felt, found responses, or the more take-away-ish approach. I can't wait to hear your response. I found, personally, that if you have a strong posture, it's always good. If you're confident in what you have, you're not emotionally attached to the outcome. You're just learning. There's no good, there's no bad, there's just learning experiences. You're trying to build a bridge between the prospect and what it is that might help them in the future. Okay? So if a person acts belligerent to somebody that's just trying to build a bridge, it doesn't make sense. It's not congruent. If I'm just trying to help you and you're just slapping me in the face, it doesn't make sense. It's very rare that it'll even happen. If you genuinely relate to the person, you ask them some stories, you tell them some stories, and you ask them some questions, have them tell you some stories, you're going to build a bridge and you're going to see if there's a fit. And yes, ego might prohibit somebody from joining the business. Their limiting beliefs might be so strong, so ingrained in them, that they can't see doing anything other than what their parents did. That might be the case. And it's not your job to convince someone that doesn't want to be convinced. It is our job to help blind people see if they want to see. We have to give them a chance. But we don't have to twist their arms. We don't have to, strong arm them and close them and belittle them and win the conversation. But you can be strong and just say, look, I've got a great opportunity. It might not be for you. I don't know if you're mentally kind of prepared for something this different from your traditional model. But if you are, I can help. And I'd like to help. And now, to find out if you're a good fit for this, let me ask you some questions. Let me tell you some stories. Let me ask you some more questions. Let's get you some more information. And based upon that information, let's help you be able to make a decision. That's all I'm here to do. Help you make a decision. So if I'm doing that, am I like this professional, slick, answer questions, overcome objections, sales guy? No, I'm not. I'm a friend. I'm a consultant. I'm just trying to figure out if there's a good fit here. Okay? I found that this works in every situation for the last 25 years. I really like that. I'm always searching for stuff that works all the time. What do you say when your prospect asks what is the name of the company? I just tell them. What's the name of the company? Well, here's the name of the company. Do you know anything about them? Have you heard anything about them? No, you haven't? Well, that's why I want to share it with you. See what I'm saying? So you can go through and share the different ideas, share the different concepts, share the stories of the company, the credibility of the company, the products of the company, the awards of the company, whatever, to be able to help them understand it. But I just never hide from it. I don't do the big hide thing very well. All right, take one quick last break and we'll come right back. All right, so listen, let me kind of summarize all of this stuff, because you've heard me repeat myself a lot over the course of this hour, and it's probably something different, or I don't even know how long this has been now, probably over an hour. I don't even know how much is different than your expectation. You might have expected some fancy answer. That's really not how it works. But let me summarize for you this, and then I've got something else I want to share with you. Don't walk away from a prospect too fast. If they say, look, I've got this question, I have this objection. Don't mentally shut down. Don't walk away. Just understand, okay, now the work happens. Now we're going to act as a consultant. We're going to build a bridge, and we're going to help them see and move the process forward. Understand our job is to help blind people see and to educate the ignorant. That's our job. There are no good and no bad experiences, only learning experiences. You will learn, you will get better, you will learn, you will get better. So in every situation, and my job is to try and equip you with concepts that work in every situation, and you can adapt your personality, your words to those concepts. What are questions and objections? They're something so people can sound smart. They're looking for clarification. They're trying to understand. Maybe they have a limiting belief about themselves or about network marketing. And a lot of times it's just a reflex reaction. So understand what questions and objections really are. Expect that they're going to come, but don't project them. Don't give them to your prospects. So, hand them over to them as a gift. Act a little bit surprised when you get an objection. And ask yourself the question internally, is it real? And what are people really saying when they're saying this objection? Okay? What are they really saying? The concepts here that will serve you are feel, felt, found, which is relate to people, relate to the prospect, relate to the question, relate to the objection, ask questions, and tell stories. You're going to be asking for clarity sometimes. You don't try to win, even though you really get passionate about it sometimes, and sometimes I don't. I'm not successful in that mentally, and I really want to win, and I really want to just, nail that thing down so they never even have it come out of their voice, their mouth again. But most of the time I'm okay with that. There are really only two objections. Out of all of these 59 questions and objections that were listed here, all of them fall into one of two. Some people have a limiting belief about themselves, or they have a limiting belief about network marketing. Our job is to help them overcome this limiting belief, because these limiting beliefs are not serving them in the new economy. They're not serving them when it comes to freedom in their life. These limiting beliefs are limiting them and limiting their future. Also, all of this stuff, if you go to networkmarketingpro.com/GoPro, get your hands on the book, get your hands on the audio book. You can buy a little combo. Maybe get some books. My recommendation is have 10 on hand, so you can put them in a prospect's hand or put them in a brand new person's hand right away. That's just my opinion. A lot of people are having huge success with that. networkmarketingpro.com/GoPro. And really we use this page to kind of go through all of the 59. I didn't write them all down, but I'm not that type of person. I don't have the time, I don't have the money. Relate to them, tell stories, ask questions, move them on to the next step. Okay? And you saw how I did that over and over and over and over. It seemed natural. It's just because not because I've memorized all those different things. I just have ingrained in me these 3 concepts that I just repeat over and over and over again. And the more I repeat them, the more I find words that will help me relate to them. I find stories that will help me with whatever that objection is. I find questions that will help me and help them understand about what's going on in their head, help me understand what's going on in their head, and ask questions that will move them forward to the next exposure. Okay? So I want you to feel confident with this. Not only this skill, but all the skills. And as you know, it's, gosh, by the time you see this, this is going to be airing. And also, if you want your people to watch this, have them go to networkmarketingpro.com/objection. networkmarketingpro.com/objection. Have them register for one of the total of 12 webinars that are available of this, what you're seeing right now. Unless you're watching the last one, then you don't have that ability. But everybody else has the ability 4 times a day. It's going to play on the 25th, the 26th, and 27th of this month. Okay? And if you go to networkmarketingpro.com/objection, you'll be able to get that. Now, the last thing I want to tell you is coming up very, very soon, December 5th through the 8th, is GoPro Recruiting Mastery. GoPro Recruiting Mastery, where we're going to spend 22 hours doing what we just did here, but on all the skills in network marketing. We got the most amazing lineup. I'm going to be covering all the 7 skills of network marketing. You know, like we talk about at GoPro, but a much deeper dive. We're going to be talking about the mindset, the million dollar mindset. But let me give you the quick agenda of what's happening there, because some of you, if you haven't done it already, you can get a live streaming ticket and you can watch the entire event, all 22 hours of it, live, and you'll get access to watch the replay online for 2 full weeks, all the way up till December 22nd. You'll have to be able to watch the replay as much as you want. So imagine content like this, but in a much cooler environment, 5,000 people, everybody going crazy. But let me tell you what's on the agenda, okay? Thursday night from 7 to 10 p.m. is Nathan Ricks. Nathan's earned over $50 million in commissions. He earns about $4 million a year in network marketing. He's never done one of these as far as I know. He's going to absolutely crush it. I'm super excited. You're going to hear from me that night, and you're also going to hear from Jeff Roberti. Jeff Roberti has also never done one of these as far as I know. He's earned over $80 million in commissions in network marketing. He's 51 years old. $80 million at 51 years old. Think he might have something to share with people? That's going to be super powerful Thursday night, okay? Friday morning from 9 to noon, we have, who do we have? We have myself, me. We have Susan Sly. Susan is a mother, is an entrepreneur. She makes a couple $1 million a year in commissions. She's going to talk about how to balance your life in network marketing. She's a superstar. You're going to absolutely love her. Then Brad Alcazan. Brad is 27 years old. He'll earn between $2 and $3 million in commissions this year. Powerhouse, one of those young guys. If you have anybody young that's looking for some inspiration, he'll be able to bring that. And we also have Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary is a social media expert, really powerful guy, super smart. He's going to be speaking. This is just the morning, Friday morning, okay? This is going to be amazing. Friday afternoon is all me. Friday from 2 to 5 is all me, and I'm super excited. I'm going to be going through lots of different role-playing things with that. And then Friday evening from 7 to 10 is Marina Wore. You're going to hear from her. You're going to hear from Jim Faubert, true legend in network marketing, powerful. You're going to hear from Lisa Grossman. And you're going to hear from Mike Sims. all of these people are $1 million a year earners in network marketing, okay? This is just Friday. Saturday, it's just, you know, I'm super excited about this. Saturday morning is me again. Then we have John Malott and Tiffany Malott. These people, these two will make about $2 million this year in commissions and network marketing. Super excited about that. The afternoon, from 2 to 5, is me again, and 2 panel discussions. One panel is $1 million a year earners, and the other panel is under 30, top leaders under 30 in the network marketing profession. 2 panels between that and also me in the afternoon. And then from 7 to 10, we have Donna Johnson, #1 earner with her company. She's made over $1 million a year for, I don't know, 14 years straight. Powerhouse woman. Richard Brook, who's got a presentation that's really going to make you laugh and also make you think. Really powerful. And then we have a secret presenter that's going to be at the event that I can't tell you because we're contractually obligated not to tell you about that presenter from 7 to 10. And then last but not least, on Sunday morning from 9 to noon, we have Robert Hollis, another $1 million a year earner, and then we have me closing it out. So this all adds up to 22 hours of content. 22 hours of training. If you're serious about building your business, 22 hours of training. Now I know it's late and you can't get there because we're sold out, but we'll go ahead and pause and we'll come right back. Alright, alright, so as I said, you can't attend this event because it's sold out, but you can watch all of this live streaming on your computer, on your device, on your phone, on anything, any of your smart devices, and you have 2 weeks of replay. You can watch it over and over and over. You can watch it with your team, all of this stuff. What would you pay to get trained by Nathan Ricks, Jeff Roberti, Robert Hollis, Susan Sly, Brad Alcazan, Gary Vaynerchuk, Marina, Jim Faubert, Lisa Grossman, Mike Sims, John and Tiffany Malott, these panel discussions, Donna Johnson, Richard Brook, or our secret presenter, which is worth the price of admission there. It's a lot. It's a lot. And, you know, would it be worth $5 each? Would it be worth $10 each? $20? $50? $100? I think it'd be worth $100 each, easy. Well, here's the deal. A live streaming ticket for this event right now is $147, and that includes live and 2 weeks of replay. Okay? But for the people on this webinar only, you get from 1 hour after the time that you watch this, and we've tracked who's registered for each webinar. You have 1 hour if you want to register for this, not for the $147, but for $97. For $97, you can watch the entire thing, all 22 hours. You can watch it live. You can also watch 2 weeks of unlimited replay, all you want, for $97. It's the best value we do all year long in Network Marketing Pro. So here's how you go get it. You go to networkmarketingpro.com/streaming /streaming. Okay? networkmarketingpro.com/streaming. You got 1 hour from the end of this webinar to be able to get that at $97. That extends to you, everybody in your group. In my opinion, it's the best value, period, in network marketing. 22 hours of training. You can watch the replay as much as you want for 2 weeks, plus watch it live. We got the technology to be able to do it. If you haven't done it already, do it. If you haven't got your group connected to that already, do it. if this webinar has provided value for you, that's my goal. That's what I'm here to do, to help you see something, help you go from being blind to being able to see, help educate you, help you become more confident, more powerful when it comes to questions and when it comes to objections. And GoPro Recruiting Mastery to help you become more confident and powerful about the whole profession, to totally raise your mental limits as to what it is that you're capable of and create the best possible game plan for 2014. Okay? That's our goal. If you're coming to the event, can't wait to see you. If you're not coming to the event, get yourself on this live, okay? I promise you, you're going to enjoy that process. So I hope you've enjoyed the webinar. I've enjoyed being able to talk to you. I've enjoyed being able to look you face to face and write some stuff down. That's been more fun than looking at a PowerPoint deck and talking on the phone for sure. So hope you get value and make it an amazing day. Ladies and gentlemen, my wish for you is that you decide to become a network marketing professional. You decide to go pro, because it is a stone cold fact. No matter what the questions, no matter what the objections, we have a better way. Now let's go tell the world. Everybody have a great day. See you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.